All right, welcome back to another Canadian Immigration Live Q&A with a special emphasis, as always, on express entry. Happy New Year, everyone. It'll be interesting to see if we get another draw today. It is Wednesday, the very, very first Wednesday of the year. And I'm just going to pull it up right now as we're waiting for people to join in. So let's see if there has been a draw. I don't think there has been one yet, but we'll just take a peek here. So nope, still sitting on December 23rd. So welcome everybody. It's great to have you connect. I am running on what I describe as fumes today. I'm Mark Holthe, Canadian immigration lawyer. I'm the founder of the Canadian Immigration Institute and this live immigration Q&A. Those of you who've been watching this live for years know that I'm just an average dude. I'm nothing special. I am just someone who loves to teach, loves to share my knowledge. And the latest thing that I am unbelievably excited about is this new version of the course. And I can't help but pull up Amit's comment right here. And this is his comment. He says, thanks to the old DIY course, my wife and I are going to submit our EAPR today. Thanks for the excellent course, Mark. Great work. Is it okay if the work experience letters are digitally signed? Yeah, you can get away with that, my friend. But Amit points out something that, while we're waiting for people to connect, I have been working so hard to get this course all fully released. And we ran into a few glitches over the holidays after we released it. With getting the actual document section uploaded. So I'm slowly working through this, releasing documents every day. And last night at 4 a.m. Mountain Time, which was, well, I guess realistically less than 6 hours ago, I had approximately 3 hours sleep last night, I finally launched the work history section, which by far is the one that is the most valuable within the whole course, because it's the area where people fall into just tons and tons of problems. So what I want to do is I'll just flip over here while we're waiting for people to connect in, and you can see here within this, I'm going to back this off just a little bit so it fits a little bit better on my screen. But the course itself, right now you can see the rounds of invitations. There hasn't been a new one. When you go to the Canadian Immigration Institute, you have the ability to log in, and this is really the view that you see right here. And the modules are all set out here on the left. Module 1, 2, starting your profile, 3, completing the actual profile, 4 is the EAPR section, 5 is understanding the document checklist, and then 6 is mastering your documents. And this module 6 is the one that is just going to be unbelievably awesome. And really it is right now. So I have all of these documents that I'm slowly releasing videos to, but the ones that are most important, I've been hitting them first. And that is the records of employment. This section, guys, is awesome. I love this thing. At the top you can see here, at the top I have 35 different documents. And I just want to show you what they are. So within each of these, I have little templates to help you, little checklists that you can provide to your employer, or you can use yourself to determine if you have everything you need in your reference letter. So just a quick little reference check, and then some additional instructions that I have at the bottom that you guys can check out. Then I have something that I absolutely am so proud of. It is my knock selection tool. And there's a bunch of information, instructions on how to use it, but effectively, this is something you can create, and I provide it in a Word document. This is my example of how I use it for your reference, but it gives you a way to actually do the work of the officer by identifying all of the activities, the reference letter, the duties and everything, explanations on why things work and why they don't, at least for the purposes of the assessment. And then at the end, a final summary of why you think your knock that you've chosen works for that particular employment that you're trying to, well, the work history that you're trying to claim. And so what this does is it creates a little template that you can use to include in your own letter of explanation, and it helps to present it in this really easy to understand format and allows you to advocate why you think your position actually meets the NOC requirements and the duties that you are required to have performed. It sets it all up there. And there is also, if I go back here again, within this section in particular, there is just a ton. You can see reference letter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we have almost 30. I think we have 29 different reference letter examples for you to show you guys that it is not the form of the reference letter that's important. What's important is the substance, what's inside. But I still wanted you to see all the different ways that people do reference letters, all the different kinds and formats and styles, which all work because the essential components that I have right here in my checklist are all contained within them. And if I jump back to the course again, you'll see here that I do have a sample employer reference letter template that you can give to the employer that's in a Word format, and they just fill in the blanks and it will do what is needed to meet the requirements for immigration. And obviously within the course itself, there's links to other things. There's tips on how to use the documents. And then my own little thoughts on a bunch of things, everything determining your correct NOC, some pro tips, selection tools, and this is growing every day. So today is the last day to benefit from the 30% off. And now that I come to think about it, I'm not sure, Igor, if I remember what the code is for that. So maybe Igor can go in unless I can find it here in the background and pull up the coupon code, which expires today, to get access to the course at 30% off. And I think I can actually find it here if I'm creative enough. I should be able to pull it up. So and there it is. Hooray for me. So the code, I'm gonna just put it right in here. I'm gonna create a new little overlay here, and I'm gonna type it in, and it is this 21 DIY 30. There it is right there. Okay, so this is the actual coupon code that you can punch in, and all you need to do to get access to it is to go to the Canadian Immigration Institute, and I'll just type it in right here, CanadianImmigrationInstitute.com. And then once you're here, then you can go to see our courses, and this brand new Express Entry course right here, 2021 version, you can click on Purchase Now, and then you punch in that code that I just finished sharing with you right here, which is the EE21 DIY 30. So if you go here and type in EE21 DIY 30 and then click apply, you'll get 30% off of the course, which takes it down to about $243 US. All right. So I just wanted to let you guys all know about that. And wow, I am so excited about this new approach. Before, I didn't have separate videos for each document, but now I do. And it's just, this is going to be, it just will blow the old course right out of the water, which ironically, when I look at Amit here, who's loved the old course, and obviously I poured my heart and soul into the old course, but this one is going to be fantastic. Okay, enough of me talking about the course. This time now is all about you guys there. And let me just remove that there. Okay, so let's see where everybody's tuning in from. We've got a good group of people. I intend to really pound out a bunch of answers, a bunch of helpful tips and strategies. And really, it's open season. Yes, I'm here. I'm talking about Express Entry. If you have other questions, that's fine too. Don't hesitate to reach out. I guess one other thing I will advise everyone that you probably should know about is that Canada has now instituted mandatory COVID-19 testing on re-entry to Canada, and that's for everyone. So you'll want to make sure that you go check this out. We'll put a link to it in the description. So Igor, if you can make sure that's in there once this video is set up as a recording. But the key things to realize is that this test is, you have to actually go through and have the test done, and it starts tomorrow, January the 7th, 2021. Anyone flying to Canada from a country, from any other country, unless otherwise exempted, have to go through and complete mandatory COVID-19 testing within 72 hours prior to your scheduled boarding to come back. Okay, so you got to start planning on it. And I guess it probably makes sense for me to jump back and let's just see here. This is where I'm going. If you go back to, so there's the course. I've got so many windows open here, you guys, I apologize. If you go back here, you will also see in anyone who's returning to Canada, I also have a tool to help you. It's only 20 bucks Canadian, essentially. And that little video describes what it's about to help you fill out the ArriveCan app, which is mandatory, and build out your quarantine plan tutorial. So that is another resource that we're creating here within the firm for all of you fine folks. Okay, let's jump back here and let's see what people are talking about. And I guess I better not delete that overlay. This is the one that I want to remove. There we go. Okay, so let's see here. We're already jumping right into the questions. Bring it on. So Matt says, hey, Mark, if I attempt the Ielts a second time to improve my score, but my first score remains higher than my second attempt, can I still use my previous score in my profile and ignore the subsequent attempts? Yes, you can. Make sure that you include those Ielts results within your EAPR so that they know which one you're relying upon. And yes, there's no restrictions on that. Same thing goes for educational credential assessments. If Wes assesses your master's as a bachelor's and ICUS or IQUIS, one of the other ECA organizations, give you credit as a master's, then use that. But the key here, guys, and this is something that I have seen repeatedly in, I've counseled people repeatedly to do it, but I don't see people repeatedly doing this. And that's including a copy of your educational credential assessment and your language test results within your EAPR. I advise all my clients to do that in case immigration comes back and requests that you provide it at a later date. Or in the case here of Matt, you want to rely on something that immigration may choose to look at. They may choose to want to use the latest one, and you're going to tell them in your letter of explanation, no, I want you to use this one. As long as it's valid, it's fine to do that. But I had a consult with a client, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, where immigration had requested that she upload her language test report, her Ielts, which she hadn't previously. She dutifully went in, she uploaded it, but then did not realize she had to actually resubmit the entire EAPR all over again. Well, at least resubmit it to get that uploaded document to be officially transmitted to immigration. So it sat there in her EAPR document checklist, but it was never officially submitted, and she got her application refused. So avoid it. Just include your Ielts reports, your WES, your TEF, your French, whatever it is. Include those as well as the educational credential assessments. I include them in my education section. That's the study, the education for your degrees, diplomas, or your transcripts. That's where I include it. All right. Okay. Great question, Matt. Thank you for asking that one. Okay. Let's see. Big shout out to my good friend Ralph. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for watching. You are amazing. All right. Let's see here. We got another. This is from Yassine, and this is a little bit bigger. Let's see if we can shrink this down a bit here. So Yassine says, good morning, sir. I have a question. I got married in 2013 and divorced in 2014. Now I'm married since 2017. In my EAPR, I wasn't asked to upload a divorce certificate. Will I get ADR after or not? When you're remarried, typically they don't ask for you to submit a divorce certificate. Typically they don't. But if you have it, there's nothing stopping you from uploading it if you want to. But it's not something that typically is being triggered unless you're no longer in a relationship and you're planning on coming as a single individual. Then they will request or trigger the need for a divorce certificate, because understand, you're listing yourself as being married. So there isn't a lot of locations for you to indicate a lot of previous relationships that you were in. It's mostly the current one that they're focusing on. All right. Let's move on. Okay, Tahir, I am doing fantastic, my friend. Happy New Year to you. Amrith, hello to you. Sabia, great. Happy New Year from Saskatoon. I love Saskatoon. My brother-in-laws, 3 of them went to dental school at the University of Saskatchewan in Saskatoon. So we had quite a few trips there. Sean, hey, my friend, good to see you. Thanks for watching. I love it when I love it when people come back and are connecting in and following like you, Sean. Thanks so much. Okay. Oh, I love this. This is great. So Marwan says, "Sir, thank for your time, but for how long I write and you ignore." Well, I guess if you pose a question that is something of general importance to everybody here, then I won't ignore it. If it is a question, Marwan, that relates specifically to you and your unique circumstances, I will ring that bell, which means you really need to go over to our website, and you need to, when you're here, you need to go and book a consultation where I can properly answer your specific question. So hopefully that helps, and you understand the rules of engagement, my friend. Okay, I love that. In a way, that's kind of like public shaming, right? Like, Mark, why are you not answering my question? Well, the reality is it's because I have, well, it looks like there's 119 people watching live right now, but yeah, there's a few people all posting questions, and there's not time to answer for everyone. Okay, Abdallah, hello to you. Amrit, happy New Year to you. This person watching in the Express Entry Law Private Facebook group, remember, if you authorize, when you're watching it, if you authorize Ecamm, my software, to display your name, then your individual profile will also appear, and you won't just be an anonymous Facebook user. If you want to switch over and watch on the Canadian Immigration Institute Facebook page or in YouTube, then your profile will appear just like Amrith here. But will there be a draw today? Well, we took a quick peek at it earlier, didn't we? So let's flip over. Let's go back to the website. Let's jump over and see if there's been any changes. The last draw was December the 23rd. Sometimes I've had it change, seconds after the live Q&A ended. But you can see right now, we're still operating on December the 23rd as being the last draw. A doozy. It was a big one at 5,000. All right. Okay, we'll find the right view here. Okay, let's see who is, okay, let's see. Okay, Raza says, hey, if there's an Express Entry Expert Award of the Year, then it goes to Mark. Thanks for motivating Mark. I would not be able to do this, you guys. I would not, especially when I'm operating on 3 hours sleep. I would not be able to do this if it wasn't for the energy that I get from you guys. And I love this. I love helping. I love interacting. That's why I created the course. Not everybody can afford. And even with consultations, some of you are going to look and you're going to see that there was a significant change that occurred just recently with respect to consultations. And I think I owe it to you guys to just explain what's happened. So if you go to my website and you click on book a consultation, some of you may get a little bit of a shock. And the shock is that I have actually doubled my consultation rate. So the reason I did that is because my dear wife informed me over the holidays. I was doing consults Christmas Eve, so December the 24th through that day, as well as New Year's Eve, as well as all through the holidays. And I have this sincere desire to help as many people as possible, but I was completely overrun. And what you guys are forgetting, even though I'm here talking, my team members, Alicia, you can see her rate is 210. Mine went up to 420. Her rate is 210. Susan's is 210. And I literally do not have capacity to help everybody that needs help. And that is why I hired these two lawyers. And that is why I'm going to continue to hire lawyers. They are awesome. They're wonderful. But when it comes to, and actually I better share my screen here. Somehow I stopped sharing my screen here. Basically what I'm saying here is you'll notice that I'm now charging $420. I've actually doubled my rates for consultations. And the reason I'm doing that is because I truly do not have the same capacity to help. And I really want you guys to take advantage and to test out Alicia, to test out Susan, give them a shot. They are smarter than I am. They truly are. And I hired them so that we could help as many people as possible. But my desire to help everyone is actually starting to compromise my own family. And I need to find a balance. And I'm also unbelievably committed to building this new version of the Express Entry course, which is, it's continually going to be improving and increasing and evolving and developing. And like I indicated just a few seconds ago, when you use that coupon code that I created, and I can't even remember where it is now. I don't even know if I have it. It disappeared on me. This one right here. When you go in and enter that coupon code EE21DIY30, you will get access to the course, the whole course. And guys, it truly is awesome. It has got all of the knowledge, all of the information, all the best parts of the previous course are all being pulled over into the new one. But then all these new sections, this new information, everything updated. Not that there was a ton that needed to be updated within the individual walkthroughs, because the only changes that have really occurred are with additional points for French and then a little statement about biometrics. That was it. Everything else was pretty much current, but it's all been revamped, all been redone. I've put in hundreds and hundreds of hours to redo this one. And as at the end of today, which is January the 6th, this little coupon code will no longer work. So consider taking advantage of that. Okay, so back to the discussion I had right here. When you book a consult, you're going to see that to book a consult with me now, it's going to be $420 Canadian. That includes the tax. But you will also see that Alicia and Susan, they're staying at the same consult rate before. So consider, if you can't get into me, or the cost of booking a consult with me is more than you can afford, consider using Alicia and Susan. All right. Hopefully you guys understand, and hopefully this is going to allow me to actually serve you guys better, to be in a position to create more content. I have so many little individual videos on all of these things that we're talking about. It's hard to find them in these long 1 hour, 1 hour DIYs. And so my goal is to create little micro videos of 3 to 5 minutes that answer the specific questions and just load them into the Canadian Immigration Institute YouTube channel and make them easy to find and to search and sort, and all free for all of you guys. And so that's why I've made some changes within my office, because I have to carve out time to do it, and I can't function working at the pace I am right now. And sneezes. Okay, let's keep cruising down here. Let's see what we have. All right. Okay, so Cecilia, once again, I'm going to ring the bell here. Anything that relates to you and your eligibility and whether or not you qualify, you need to go over and book a consult. Tahir says, you're looking tired. Yeah, my friend, 3 hours sleep last night. 3 magical hours. I went to bed at 4 a.m. So you bet I'm tired. But that's okay. I'm plugging through because I'm committed to doing what I can to help you guys. Okay. Okay, so Raheel, I'll pull this up, okay? Understand, guys, when you post questions that are really long and the questions really aren't of benefit to everybody else, the key is that your question ties back to something that would benefit all the listeners. And in your situation, I'll kind of ring this bell here. And as far as trying to get your question answered, understand I do the best I can, but there's no way I'm going to answer everyone that's questions that's posed. So let's see if we even have a question here. I'm trying to get my question answered. Okay, recently received GCMS notes. The application is approved. I'm yet to receive the passport request, but I've got a sister who's a PR in Canada. Can I raise a web form to let Ircc know that I'm exempt from travel restrictions? Well, understand, until you get your passport request, you can't travel anyways. Sure, you can indicate, that you have family in Canada, but at the end of the day, Ircc may not be processing things because the visa office is closed. And without your actual confirmation of permanent residence and your permanent resident visa, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to travel. And if you try to travel without your PR, then it just makes things complicated, because in the system, if the system is showing you are a permanent resident or it's been approved, the border officers are going to be really confused. And I've already had people who had entered Canada when they should have waited, and then they ended up being in this no man's land where they couldn't get a social insurance number, they couldn't get health coverage, their PR application was still stalled out because it wasn't formally finalized. So Raheel, my friend, I recommend that you don't do that. Yes, you can raise that web form and you can say, hey, here's the situation. Please get my application, my PPR sent it out to me, but you're at the mercy. It's not just the travel restrictions. It's the ability that visa office has to actually get officers there to process and imprint, visas and passports if you're coming from a visa required country. Otherwise, well, you still need that confirmation of permanent residence if you're traveling from even a visa exempt country. All right. So there you go. You got your question answered. Okay. All right. Okay. Louise says, hey, thanks for all the great information. Hope you keep it up. I will definitely keep it up. Absolutely. This is what I love to do. Happy New Year to you. We've got Dorito here, Incognito Dorito. That's awesome. What a sweet handle. Rupesh, hello to you. All right. Yari says, can I claim points for work experience during my PhD paid, blah, 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 even if I did not get my diploma? Yeah, understand. This is something that I discuss in detail in the course. You do not have to worry about education when it comes to claiming foreign work experience. You just don't. If you're coming to work in Canada, yeah, then the NOC, the National Occupational Classification Position Profile, will have employment requirements at the bottom. And if you don't meet those, you're not getting your work permit to come work in Canada. But for the purposes of the express entry system, the Federal Skilled Worker Program, you just need to establish that you have performed all the activities in the lead statement of that NOC, as well as a substantial number of the main duties. And I dive deep into all of this in the course. All right, moving on. Let's see what we've got here. Ravi says, morning, looking forward to the first draw of 2021. I hope the score drops to 460. That would be pretty awesome, Ravi. I think it's probably a little unlikely, but hey, anything can happen. All right, Bella, hello, my friend Bella. It's so good to see you. And I love your profile picture. I'm going to blow this up all the way across my screen so everybody can see. 2021, there's little Jaden Markansky. What a little angel. That is awesome. It's so good, to have you guys as friends, Bella, and it means a ton that you're watching and supporting after all these years. So very, very cool. Thank you. All right, we've got Garavi's over in India. This person on the Express Entry group, the private Facebook group, says, is there any draw for CEC in the future? Well, the reality is that I'm sure hoping there is. At this point, we haven't seen it yet. So they've got a plan. I hope they've got a plan. Ircc does. We have meetings again with them now here in January that are going to be kicking in next week. And we'll get an opportunity to hear where things are at. As many of you know, I'm the national chair of the Canadian Bar Association. So I have meetings with them fairly regularly just to get a lay of the land as to where things are at with immigration. So we'll see what we learn from the meetings that are coming up next week. But it sure would be good, absolutely, for there to be another CEC draw. All right, Magnificent Moments says, can I add my spouse in my Express Entry profile after getting the Oinp 600 nomination points? Magnificent. The answer is maybe. And has it been done before? Yes, I have done that for clients before. Yes, I always make sure that I notify the Oinp and that they're on side. But ultimately, yes, we have had individuals add their spouse after they get their nomination, but before they submit, they update their Express Entry profile with the extra 600 points and they add their spouse in. But there are factors you have to consider that are these factors. And one of them is if you were drawn through one of the expression of interest programs, I'm very, very careful and cautious with how your CRS score is impacted if you add a spouse and whether or not adding that spouse would drop you down below the level that Oinp extended that expression of interest to you. So that's a factor that I take into consideration, and I recommend Ms. Moments that you consider booking a consult for us to explore that in more detail. All right, but that's a good question, and yes, it has been done in the past. Okay, Manpreet, hello, my friend. Okay, this individual's from Yemen, but from Dubai and got vaccinated from COVID. Hey, sweet. I'd love to hear how many people the vaccines are rolling out in different countries. That's really cool. Congratulations. Hopefully this is going to lead to, hopefully it's going to lead to a little bit more stability in the world, that we'll be able to return back to some form of normalcy, that we'll be able to get these overseas visa offices opened, processing your application so that all of you people that are trapped outside of Canada, waiting to come in, are not going to continue to be stuck. All right. Okay. Okay. Bella, my brother from another mother. Absolutely, my friend. Okay, now those of you, once again, who are saying, Mark, I'm not getting my questions answered, you keep skipping past them. I'm looking for questions that are going to be of benefit to the larger group. If you have a big, long question that I have to take a long time to read, understand that it's probably going to get skipped for questions that are more succinct, easier to get through, because I don't want to spend a lot of time kind of reviewing and reading through this long question, especially if it only relates to your specific circumstances. So I want to share you guys one other thing on our firm website. If you go to the resources section right here and you click on that resources section and scroll down to the bottom, this is where you can submit your questions for the next live Q&A, right at the bottom of this red link. Okay, so that's where you can go if you are struggling with an ability to get your question answered. But remember those key components. If it has anything that's specific to you and really isn't of benefit to the general public, or at least I can't spin it that way, then you're going to get a little bell rung, and that means that it's a specific legal question. All right, let's keep zipping through these. Okay, and if you ask, hey, I'm this old, I'm applying, can I apply? Eligibility, I'm going to skip through that as well. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Some people are asking about final decisions and their applications have been delayed. This is something that we also can't answer here because the pandemic has thrown everything on its basically everything upside down. And until the travel restrictions are fully lifted, are we going to return back to that 6-month processing for Outland? If you're inside Canada and all your dependents are inside Canada, it's possible that your application could actually be approved within 6 months. But for everyone else, understand, until we see things lift, the vaccine is not rolling out as quickly as other countries. And until this pandemic and this virus gets under control, understand there are going to be delays. All right, let's see what we've got here. Who else do we have? Okay. Hello, Mark. I'm Edison from Nigeria. I have been following your video for months now. You give me so much hope. Thank you. I'll give that a clap right back at you, my friend. Thank you so much for that very, very positive comment. I really appreciate it. Okay. Okay, we've got Pratak from Gurgaon. Great to have you. Amit, what is he doing here? Yeah, you guys are hilarious. What does Amit got? For everyone watching this stream, I am serious. The DIY course is a must-have for anyone applying for express entry. I'm not affiliated with Mark, but it's indeed a must-have for everyone. Thank you, Amit. That means a lot, right? Like, I'm here pleading with people to consider purchasing the course. And I know how much it's going to help people. And even the new course is just, it's just that much better because I've learned, I've developed new ways of doing things that are even better than the way I had created the first course. And you benefited, Amit, from the first course. Well, my goodness, people that purchased the new one who go into the course, they right here. And remember, you can access it on the Canadian Immigration Institute page right here. I'll just pull it up. So all you have to do is go right here to the Canadian Immigration Institute.com website, and that's where you can access it. Let me flip over here and I'll show you. So right here is where you go, and you just type in Canadian Immigration Institute.com, and then once you're here, go to see our courses right there in the middle. And once you click on that, it's right here, the Express Entry DIY Course 2021 version. Remember, lots of people have benefited tremendously from the old course. And then ultimately, it's an interesting thing too. I've actually reduced the price on the new one from the old one. The old one used to be $497, and the new course, the price that we're charging right now. So you can see the old one was $497, and the new course, we actually reduced the price down to $347 just to make it more affordable for everyone. And the reality is, guys, I don't need to make millions of dollars on this course. I just need to make sure that my expenses and the time that I'm putting in, that I'm actually being paid for it. And it also helps to cover the time that I'm spending here on these live Q&As. And so I realized that, I can reduce the fee a little bit. I can reduce the cost of it. And with the number of people that are purchasing it, which has grown astronomically, it is now, resulting in me not needing to charge as much. And the more people that purchase it, the more the price can come down. And it's as simple as that. All right. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so cruising along here, Amit, thank you for your very kind shout out. That was so much appreciated. I love it when you guys explain your situation, explain your story. All right, let's see what we have here. Hey David, this is a question I also just answered in the guide, in the course, in the passport section that I created. So I have dual nationality. Do I have to upload my 2 valid passports? The old ones too. I have a US valid visa in the old one. No, you don't. You don't have to. Use the passport that you're using for the purposes of immigrating to Canada. You don't need to upload both. You don't. Okay. Okay, here's a good one. Mr. Vaishal says, hey, I got my acknowledgement of receipt. Can you give me an approximate when one can receive the passport request? And by what margin has the pandemic delayed the processing the applications? Well, think about it. Things shut down here in Canada March 18th. Many other countries, the visa offices ground to a halt on March 18th. Some of them are slowly starting to come back, but I can't answer your question because it depends on where you're at, inside, outside Canada, which country, and yeah, all of these travel restrictions, until they're lifted, we just don't know where things are at, unless you're in Canada, where I am still kind of holding to the 6-month processing time. Okay. All right. Gaurav, you were awesome too, my friend. Okay. Cruising down. Let's get to a bunch more here. Okay. Let's see. This is awesome. Can we consider replies from IRCC's Twitter account as authentic guidance? Well, I think you can actually. If they are answering questions and they're providing anything through that Twitter channel, I think there's a legitimate expectation that you actually can rely upon it. Okay. Okay, here's another one. Amrith says, hey, Mark, can I provide bank statements, highlighted salary check deposits as supporting documents for proof of employment? You can include anything you can get your hands on. And this is a good opportunity for me to show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'm going to flip back once again to the course, records of employment. One of the downloads that I have here is, let's see if I can find it. What if I can't get a reference letter? And I'm going to open this one up right here. And this is a tool also that I've given you guys, which is a comprehensive list of all of the possible things that I could possibly think about to use in, in addition to what you've included through your, through your reference letter and the traditional things that you would normally include. And so that tool is built in there, which covers a whole bunch of different things. And it's not comprehensive. Like, every situation is different. I say this repeatedly. You are different than the person on the internet who's posting whatever template. Like, you're different. And that's why I've been so reluctant to put, sample letters of explanation, sample, reference letter templates. I don't want 10,000 people submitting employer reference letters that all look the same. My goodness, IRCC is going to wonder what is going on. Are these these reference letters even genuine because they all look the same? And that's what I have tried to avoid. Now, I've given a sample in the guide, but ultimately, if there's some deficiency in your reference letter or you can't get one, there's a ton of things that you can include. And for you, Amrith, yeah, include whatever you can get. If you've got highlighted salary check deposits in your bank account, use it. If you have supporting documents, anything that touches on things that are deficient in your reference letter, include them. The onus is on you to prove it. So, and with IRCC being extremely rigid, you just do not want to take any chances. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what we got next. Okay, this is a good question. Rishi says, hey, with the new immigration levels set at an all-time high, how much drop in CRS can we expect? Well, it's interesting what Rishi's talking about, and we'll just shift back here and we'll go to the rounds, to the express entry rounds of invitations. 5,000 is a recent phenomenon. So we're going to go back and we're going to see the previous rounds here. And if you scroll down, you will see here, wow, look at this. They've made a change. This is new. I'm impressed. Well, I'm kind of impressed. It definitely makes it a lot easier to sort. Look at this. This was just updated just a couple days ago. It's the first time that I've had a chance to look at it. Wow, this is a whole lot easier. So that's easier to look at. So you can see here, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. So the last 4 draws have been 5,000, which is a lot. Normally before, and even then, 45, 45, 42, there was a time when they were 3,000. This is Canadian Experience class, no program specified, 39, but we were hovering under 4,000. It's only been recently that we've climbed up to 5,000. So because of that, the scores have started to drop. And you can see every 2 weeks, right here, the impact is that it has slightly dropped. So I have to assume that if we are to do another draw, that it's probably going to not drop much more than 466 if they were to do another 5,000 cohort. Now, if you look at this and we go back to the main screen, you can have a little bit of an idea what the current complement of people in the group are. But this was as of December 21st, immediately before the last draw. And you can see that the range we're most concerned with, you can see there's 1,336 here, but we don't know between 461 and 470 how many people are actually sitting at 469 or 468. So I would have to assume that if we were to go back and there was to be another round of invitations of 5,000 today, and if we refresh this, let's just refresh and see if anything's changed. Nope, nothing's changed. That if there was, then we're probably looking at it dropping maybe to 467, maybe 466, but boy, it is super competitive. An interesting thing to note is that if you're in the US or some countries, it's really hard to get a language test. So what that means is that the number of people that are coming into the pool as new candidates, you know, those prima donnas with master's degrees that are 29 years old that have English off the charts and 3 years of skilled work experience, they're the ones that are making the cut. And they're the ones that are driving the process up, as well as people that have French language abilities. So yeah, so at this stage, if there's another big draw, you know, I suspect maybe the lowest it could go down to would be about 466, I think, another 5,000, but we'll see. We will see. Good question. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Happy New Year to you, Aklaka. Actually, let's see if I can pronounce your name. Kazi, maybe? Aklaka. Aklak. Sure. Do my best to try to pronounce your names. Hey, you guys slaughter my last name all the time anyway, so it's all good. Okay, let's see here. Oh, there, Igor. See, that's how far behind we are. He's now posting what the coupon code is. EE21 DIY 30. And you can see there are so many questions, and I'm really trying to get through here. Okay, Betty says, hey, the amount of annual income, should it be in Canadian dollars or the country's currency? It can be in the country's currency. No problem with that, Betty. You just, what I use is, and I'll show you guys what I use. When I'm doing currency converters, if possible, depending on if your country actually is on the list, I'm going to share the website with you. I'm going to go back. I use the government of Canada. Let's see, currency converter. Let's see if we can use this one. So the one I use is the Bank of Canada right here. And so I actually put in the amount, select, you know, the currency conversion from whatever country, and there are not a lot of countries on here. So if you're on here, I use this one as my principal. So I'll choose, you know, if I have Mexican pesos and converting to Canadian dollars, I don't know. Let's say I have, I'll just put a bunch of numbers down and see what that converts to. Okay, how many Canadian dollars does that convert to if we are including Mexican pesos? Well, I guess I picked more than I needed to, because that's $641,000. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Anyways, I'll just enlarge this for a second here. But I print off this page, and then that's what I include with the proof of funds, so that the officer can see exactly what those amounts convert to. I use this one. And then if the currency isn't listed on the Bank of Canada one, then I use whatever one is available that's reputable for your country. Simple as that. All right, let's shrink this back down here. Otherwise my screen will be too big. Okay, let's see what we got coming up next here. So great question, Betty. Thank you for asking that one. Ashima, Happy New Year to you. I'll give you a clap. And just for your, you know, just because it's somewhat still festive, I'm going to, let's see if I got this one. Yeah. I'll give you a little Christmas because I wish that the Christmas actually, I wish we were still in Christmas because I didn't really have too much of a Christmas because of the consultations I was doing. Anyways, hey, it's always fun. Always fun. Thanks, Ashima. Okay, let's continue on here because I also opened up my consults for Wednesdays. Usually I haven't in the past, and I forgot to turn it off. So I have a consult with someone in 10 minutes right after this live Q&A. Okay, Christian, I believe 2021 is going to be an awesome year for immigration as well. I sure do. Okay, let's see what we got here as we're pounding through a bunch of more questions. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, okay, people asking about the backlogs. Wow, when the travel restrictions are lifted, that's when we're going to see, or at least have an idea what's going to happen. Okay, and this one, Kazmi, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's a very kind gesture. I you know, anytime someone welcomes me with a may God bless me, I really appreciate that. So thank you. May Allah, God bless you. I appreciate that, my friend. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We've got EC watching from Calgary. That's great. How does medical surveillance work? Well, medical surveillance is basically if you have a disease, like a communicable disease, where it's something that could be transmitted, then medical surveillance is just a method where they track you. So if, for example, if someone maybe had a medical exam or something that suggested that there should be a follow-up, that's where medical surveillance kind of kicks in. So they'll actually ask you to come and do a follow-up examination to see if the condition had changed in any way. That's usually what they're referring to. And I suspect that's what you're asking about medical surveillance. Oh, this is awesome. I'm going to post this. This is great. Just because, why not, right? And I would, if I had a boo, I would boo that one. But he says, you deceive people and shame what you do to people. Well, that's awesome. The truth. Wow. I think you should probably change your handle to the lie because that's pretty much not what I'm doing. All right. That's awesome. But hey, everybody gets a shout out here. Everybody gets a shout out. Okay. Bilal says, hey, I was working full-time while I was studying. Will IRCC accept it as a full-time or it would be considered as part-time? I suspect, Bilal, you're outside of Canada. If you're outside of Canada, if you're working 30 hours a week, you claim it as full-time. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to school. Now, if you're working 3 jobs, going to school in 2 different educational institutions, and you're trying to claim everything as full-time, you're going to need to be able to explain how you're able to juggle all those things. But at the end of the day, there is no, there's no flat-out restriction to claiming full-time work if you're in school. No siree. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, when are EE obliged to use the new NOC system 2021? They will let us know. Until they let us know anything different, I continue to use the 2016. Okay. Okay. Oh, actually, we've got a question here. This one, I'm going to ring it here because Vishal, this is actually do I qualify? But this is general enough. So self-employed is for people that are going to come to Canada and create a significant cultural benefit. So if your NOC code fits within the cultural industry, musicians, artists, graphic, photographers, those kinds of things, video editors do fit within the list, videographers, then you can take a run at it, but it is not a simple, straightforward process. I've got, I think, 3 clients that we're working through right now, exploring the self-employed process, and we're getting ready to submit those applications, so it may be possible for you. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so this person says, hey, I can't submit the biometrics because the VACs are closed. Well, understand you will have an ability to get that done. You're not going to lose your opportunity to do it. But ultimately, if you're getting close to the time period where the time they've given you is expiring, indicate, send a web form to tell them that the VAC's still closed, you can't do it. Please give me an extension, and they will grant you an extension. All right, continuing down here. Let's see what we have here. And remember, if your question is big and really large, I'm likely going to skip past it. Okay, because of the virus. Sumit, why biometrics not being done in India? Because of the virus and the fact that the offices are closed. All right. Let's see here. Okay, Ankit, hello to you. Thank you, Amro. I appreciate that. He says, hope you have an amazing year ahead. Okay. Okay, so this is an interesting question. So Ashima says, Ashma says, is it advisable to call IRCC about application status? Well, usually what you do is you send it via a web form. You can call. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. I see you've got a bunch of moving things going on here. You're unable to submit your biometrics. So in your kid's situation as well, before you reach the expiry of the time they've given you to do it, go in and make sure that you update IRCC explaining that you can't get it and that you need an extension. That's what I would do in those circumstances. Okay, Kunal says, hey, will paid internship be considered as part of work experience? Yeah, there's no, if it's paid, if you are performing the duties, if it's 30 hours a week, you can claim full time. For the purposes of the federal skilled worker program, it needs to be continuous. But ultimately, you're not restricted by the fact that it's just an internship. In fact, some people that are completing their postdoctoral studies and have a significant work component that they're paid for to do while they're completing their PhD is totally fine as well. And we've done that for clients on numerous occasions. Okay, Deshna says, while your PR is in process, can you travel to other countries? Absolutely, no restrictions at all. Okay, Kamala says, hey, if I declare a sibling in the APR, which was missed out in earlier application for a Canadian work permit, can that cause a problem? It could. If you have never disclosed a family member before in a previous application, and now you're disclosing them, there's a difference between whether or not they live in Canada or whether or not you even included them at all. And this is where it's so important, people who are coming to Canada, that you know who's helping you to fill out your applications. Because sometimes overseas agents, in whatever form, will just whip through things, do the very bare minimum, get your study permit, get your work permit without taking into consideration the long-term ramifications. Maybe they don't even ask you the questions that they need to, and the information that's provided is just the bare bones, and maybe they miss things. Well, that can come back to haunt you later. All right, a few more minutes here. Okay. All right, let's see what we have here. Some of these comments are hilarious. I'm not going to bother posting them. Let's see here. You guys duplicating your comments are not helping things. Please don't duplicate your comment, because then it drags things on here. Okay, other people asking about updates. The reality is we don't know how long things are going to process. Okay, so Raul says, can I create an Express Entry profile and also apply for a student visa at the same time? Will the creation of the profile affect the student visa? The answer is unequivocally yes, it can. And the extent to which it impacts on your application depends on a ton of factors that are unique to you. Everything from the country you're applying from, your nationality, and usually that you shouldn't think that would play a role, but it does. It really does. And so your ability to show or demonstrate your connection to your home country, your education plan, all those things factor in terms of how much of a negative impact applying for Express Entry or having a profile in the pool will have on your study permit. All right. Okay. And we'll end with that comment. That's hilarious. I wish I could give you a visa, Shuban, but the reality is I'm not the one who issues them. Okay, well, I better wrap it up and get over to my consultation. It's been another awesome, I unclicked the wrong one again. It has been an awesome live Q&A today, and I had to stick a little bit closer to the 1 hour because of the consultation that I have booked after. Just a reminder, as of today, it'll be the last day for you to go in and access this awesome little course that has an absolute gazillion videos to walk you through the whole process of the express entry process. And right now, if you go in and you click on this link, purchase now, and you guys will remember, let's see if I can find that code again. Boy, I'm always struggling here to find things that I'm posting. This one right here. If you type in EE21 DIY30 before midnight Mountain Time tonight, you can get the benefit of that. So EE, and then, boy, I keep forgetting what it is, DIY30. Okay, so if you type in EE DIY 21, oh my goodness, I can't even do this properly. Oh, my console is, I'm flustered because, so it's 21 DIY 30. I think I did it right. Oh man, we got to make more intuitive coupon codes. So when you type that in, you'll get access. Well, you get a whack of money off, essentially 30% off the price of the course with that code. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. It was another awesome live Q&A. I know there were so many people that never got your questions answered. I'll flip back one more time here. Go to our website right here, click on the resource section, go down, and you can post your question down here as well and see. And if it's a good one, if it's something I know will help a bunch of people who are having the same questions, then it could very well be pulled in for the next live Q&A. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Happy New Year to you all. We'll see if the round of invitations happens today. As of today, if I refresh my page one last time before we wrap it up, well, I don't see it. I don't see it posted. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful week of 2021, and make sure you check out all the content that I have on the YouTube channel, including my Immigration Nation, where I bring lawyers on and special guests to talk about just a ton of different immigration topics of an interest and importance to you. All right, this is Mark Holthe, Canadian immigration lawyer, ex-immigration officer, and former high school teacher, signing off, wishing you guys all the best as you navigate this crazy world that we call Canadian immigration. See ya.